All right, from our box of vegetables and fruit, we're making a meal today. I've washed and I've cubed my peppers, I've cubed my onions, I've cleaned my corn. Now what I've done here is I'm making a salad with my apples. I've taken and cubed my apples. I'm going to supreme, and I'll show you how to do a grapefruit. It's a red grapefruit, so I'm going to supreme the red grapefruit, put it in with the apples, and squeeze the juice over. In the refrigerator, I found a leftover packet of poppy seed dressing from when I went out last time to Zaxby's. And I'm going to use that as the dressing for our apple grapefruit salad. Okay, so now I'm going to supreme the grapefruit, doing the same thing I did earlier in one of our displays on the watermelon. I'm going to cut the bottom off and the top, creating a flat surface, so thereby it sits nice and comfortably. I'm going to take the knife, following the curve of the fruit. I'm going to take the skin, the peel off of this one. And the peel on citrus, the pith, is what makes it bitter. So I'm trying to get all the pith off so that it won't make my salad bitter. But I get the citrus, which will keep my apples from browning, and at the same time add a little flavoring. Now I want to try and get this pith off this side as well. Okay, now let me move that out of the way. Now what I'm going to do is what they call supreming. You take the fruit, you're going to run the blade right along the membrane in the fruit, and you push the center out. And when you push the center out, you leave all that membrane in between, which makes it bitter. And thereby I get nothing but the fruit of the grapefruit. And then when I get around here to the end of it, I'm going to use what I have left in the rind here, or in the peel, I should say, the pith. I'm going to take that, and with a clean hand, I'm going to squeeze that juice over my salad. And that's going to permit that to go over that. Okay, I'm going to rinse the hands off here. Okay, now, if I can find myself a spoon, here we have a spoon. I'm going to now take and cut the edge off of that dressing packet, which is a sweet poppy seed dressing. Squeeze that in over our grapefruit and apple salad. Stir it up just a little bit to mix it and let it marinate. And now I can cover it and I can put it in the refrigerator and let it marry the flavors together while I continue to prepare the rest of my dishes. I'm going to prepare cabbage and corn. Once I get the cabbage processed, I'm going to saute the peppers and onions and put some chicken strips in it. We'll have a full meal. See you back in a little bit. So in prepping the cabbage, I'm going to cut it in what they call a julienne, which is kind of a fine slice. And the reason for doing that is it permits it to cook more quickly. I'm taking the core out. I'm taking any of the old leaves off, or beat up leaves. Let me take the core out of this side. Okay, and take that beat up leaf off. Okay, now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take and quarter it, cut it in yet again, put these over here so that I can work on the cutting board here. And I'm just going to finely slice this. And then I've got a colander here that I'm going to put it over in so that I can rinse it before I put it into our pot. Okay, take my next quarter, and I'm going to continue to do the same thing until I julienne the entire cabbage. And I keep turning it down to the flat side so it stays stable so I won't end up cutting and nicking a finger. If I can keep what I'm cutting stable, I have a greater chance of not harming myself with this knife because I'm working on a stable surface with a stable product. Take that piece and throw it hard. Cool. Okay. You get nervous, turn that piece down. Okay, dump that into my colander here. And then my last quarter, I've got a piece of cord that I want to take out, I missed. Okay. Okay, now we're completely through with that. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn my heat on. I'm going to cook mine with a little butter. You can cook it with oil. You can put down a little bacon fat, whatever kind of flavoring you kind of want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cook mine with a little oil. I'm going to season it with a little consommé, which is a seasoning that I buy, but you can do it with salt and pepper. Works just as well. You kind of make it work for your taste buds. Now, while butter's melting, I'm going to take this opportunity to rinse off my cabbage. And I'm going to take my onions and I'm going to put them over in my oil and let them start to soften a bit. And then with that space, what I'll do is I will use my tray here to serve as my stand for rinsing. And we're going to rinse the cabbage. I'm going to take a tablespoon or so of consommé and toss down. it sit a little bit and cook down so we can get the rest in there. Okay, and now that we've got it, it's kind of cooking down. I've got to put the remainder in there and continue to let it, stew and soften down, reduce itself. Well, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add my cabbage. I'm going to add my corn to my cabbage. To add another layer of nutrition to it as well. We'll put us a little pepper on there, good color and flavor. Stir that in. And then what I'm going to do now is put my remaining cabbage that I couldn't fit in there into the pot. And put our lid back on there, and we're going to let it simmer there while we prepare our next dish. Okay, I'm going to reduce the flame down a little bit to a medium high, and then I'm going to get ready to prepare my next dish. And there's our cornbread, cooked in cast iron skillet in our oven here. Of course, it was just a Jiffy cornbread mix, eggs, butter. But what I had done is I'd taken an ear of my corn and I cut the kernels off it and I mixed that into my batter. So thereby making it a little bit more unique, kind of stepping up a bit. All right, I turned the heat on my frying pan here on the front, and I'm going to put down just a little oil. To lightly brown our chicken strips that we're going to give into it. And so we're going to use our chicken strips and, of course, our onions and our peppers. And then what we're going to do as a seasoning on top of that in the refrigerator. We have a leftover traditional salsa, and I'm going to use that over as a sauce on that so that we'll have a complete meal. Chicken stir fry. Well, there'll be chicken, pepper, and onions, along with cabbage and cornbread. Full meal deal. We have a salad in the refrigerator we'll bring back out, which is our apple grapefruit salad. And we also have a side salad of our cucumber and onion salad, which we dressed with another dressing we had left in the refrigerator, our red pepper vinaigrette. And all of them are going to taste pretty fantastic. We've got our oil kind of warm. We're going to put our chicken down. I think that ought to be enough for our chicken. We'll put the rest of this back away. We'll add ourselves a little pepper. And if I can locate my salt here, hold on. We'll throw a little salt down. Okay. Okay, a little bit more. Let's see. We're trying to heat up just a little bit. Okay, now that we've kind of got it where it's starting to loosen up because it was frozen, we want to loosen up a little bit because it's already pre-cooked, and so it's just a process of rewarming this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to then let's lay our onions on top. let that sit there for a little bit, and what we're going to do is check on our cabbage. I'm going to take the lid off the pot, steam that, stir our cabbage, and see what it looks like. It looks wonderful. I think we're coming along good here, guys. Okay. Yeah, I think we've got ourselves a nice cake here. All right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn our cabbage down just a little bit more so we don't overcook it while we're waiting. It's getting really warm. All right, let's give it a minute while we're sawing. I'll be right back. So now we're back. Things are softening up. Our chicken's getting good. Our onions are starting to soften a bit. At this point, we're going to put our peppers in there. Stir it a little bit. Kind of got this pan crowded. But that looks wonderful, doesn't it? What we're going to do now, we're going to cover that again, and we're going to let it sit there a little while we wait on it. Now while we're waiting on that, I'm going to clean up the kitchen here, and we'll be ready to serve in just a few minutes. After we've got our onions and peppers marinated down, we put our picante sauce over and brought it to warm, and it was complete. We plated here cornbread, cabbage and corn. We have peppers and onions with chicken strips with picante sauce. We have our apple grapefruit salad, and then we have our cucumber, onions, green peppers with red pepper vinaigrette. All out of our refrigerator leftovers, and our box we received today as our vegetable box. Full meal in a box. Enjoy.